Good morning. I'd just like to thank all in the GIFT team for inviting us here this morning. Bear, first and foremost, is going to talk about our own accommodation business, and then I'll talk about what I'm doing on a voluntary basis on the northern side of the Knockmildown Mountains.
No, I don't think I'm as familiar with presentations as my previous speakers, but anyway, I'll do my best. Okay, Kilmaneen Farmhouse. We're 20 years in the bed and breakfast business. Why did we start? It was one of the first questions that Keely asked me. We started because we needed additional income. Also, I didn't have enough farm career, and we had a young family aged 7, 9 and 11, and we both wanted to be at home with them. It was triggered by the fact that we restored our house in 1992. It was in need of a lot of updating, and plumbing and electrics and all that. And we requested a visit from Board Fáilte at the time, and with very few changes, because we didn't have to have en suites at the time, washing basins were sufficient. So with very few changes to the building plans, we met the criteria for the B&B. Now, where are we? Our address is Newcastle, Clonmel, County Tipperary. We're 12 miles from Clonmel, 8 miles from Cahir, between the villages of Newcastle and Dartfinnan. We're surrounded by 3 mountain ranges, the Galtee, Knockmildown and Cummer mountains, the Knockmildown being the nearest to us. And we're on the banks of, our farm is on the banks of the River Suir and Tar. A lot of you would be familiar with the V, Mount Mellery. They'll be our nearest main attractions, I say. We have a small operation, a 3-bedroom farmhouse. We got Fáilte Ireland approval in 1993, and we opened for business in 1994. Recently, since classification came in, we've been classified as a 4-star B&B. Subsequently then, we were featured in guidebooks, which were very helpful to our business. In the early years, fishing was the main source of business. As I say, we have the River Suir, which is a fine river, and but the 3rd year into business, we were approached by a fishing agent who was writing articles in magazines in France and Spain, and he was bringing in fishermen from those countries, and he was looking for somebody to provide the accommodation for his guests. So we dealt with him. It gave us a great start. We dealt with him for about 5 years on a partial board basis, bed, breakfast and evening meal. And the only disadvantage was we were giving him quite a substantial discount. He was charging a lot more than we would normally have charged, and it actually put us under a lot of pressure to deliver a very high standard of accommodation, which really wasn't sustainable for us, because they were paying a lot and they demanded a lot. So anyway, but during that time we realised we hadn't enough capacity in the 3 bedrooms, so we converted a farm building into self-catering cottage, a 2-bedroom self-catering cottage, which is classified as 4-star as well. That gave us great flexibility, and still does, because it operates as B&B, extra B&B rooms, or self-catering, whichever way the business comes in. But we did realise when coming to the end of those 5 years that we needed to develop our own business. We couldn't afford to be dependent on that business. And one way we saw of doing that was to enter a competition called the Rural Tourism Award. And we did enter that in 1999, and we were judged, a very strict manner of judging, and we won the Munster Award, and then we went on to win the National Award. But it wasn't just about the accommodation, it was hugely related to our farm enterprise as well, because all our pollution control as regards, waste management had to be in order, and the judges spent as long in the farmyard as they did in the bed and breakfast, probably even longer actually. So like a lot of our environmental work has been concentrating on the farm as well as the B&B, more so actually, and a lot of investment has gone into the farm. In the year later then, we saw an ad for the Millennium Farm Landscape Award, which is run by the ESB, and they invited people to submit projects. And we actually had the work done. Unfortunately, we had taken photographs beforehand, which were very handy, and we had put in a lined lagoon to store our animal waste, and we had turned what was a very ugly site into a landscape site with fruit trees and hardwood trees. So we won an award, the Munster Regional Award, for that project. Now, all these things were just marketing tools for us. We wanted them not for the glory and honour of it, but we wanted them as marketing tools. We're very much off the beaten track, and we knew we needed tools to take us into the future. So around that time as well, we realised we needed a website, and I availed of a web design course which is run by the Kilmaneen County Enterprise Board, and since then I've managed and updated our website. I've availed of every opportunity to go to courses, and I took part in the Twigs and Murgo programs which were run by WIT in the past, and I've learned a huge amount from them. They've been hugely advantageous and are for the most part free of charge, but I've been able to keep up with modern, the trends in social media and blogging and all that kind of stuff. So just to continue on briefly, I got a phone call from Georgina Campbell of Georgina Campbell Guides, and we were invited to an award ceremony in Dublin, and it was very simple because we didn't know the judges were on the premises. It was all done and dusted by the time she called us. So that was terrific because it didn't drain us of any energy. Our biggest challenge at the moment is to maintain our ratings on TripAdvisor and on other review websites, such as Booking.com. There's an opportunity there for people to submit reviews, and it is a very powerful tool and a bit scary, really scary actually, because we prefer, if we're away from home now, we just prefer to shut down, take our availability off the booking engines, because we really can't risk having, maybe our daughter who does her best, but we keep students help us out during the summer, but we just prefer to close if we have to take a short break. Kevin is a very keen gardener. We have a large ornamental garden of about an acre, and which he has been developing since 1975. That takes a lot of work, but the guests really enjoy it. The fruit and vegetable garden, Kevin again has been planting fruit trees since the 80s, but it's only in recent times that he has developed the vegetable garden, and he put up 2 polytunnels to provide more variety and to give us a longer season. We grow a huge range of vegetables and fruit, and the fruit especially is put to good use at the breakfast buffet. You can see there strawberry smoothies, rhubarb compote, freshly squeezed apple juice, our lovely raspberries, and our absolutely delicious figs. We have lovely figs. And they are so much appreciated by guests. It's the one thing that continuously is commented on in our reviews. And it really gives us great pleasure to be able to, I just love going out, picking the raspberries, putting them into a bowl and putting them up there on the table. And it's a good topic of conversation with guests as well. We use the produce in a lot of preserves, but not alone do I use our homegrown stuff. I use the wild hedgerow produce, such as elderflower there for elderflower cordial and elderflower. Well, I haven't made the wine yet, but maybe this year. We went on then. People started to ask Kevin would he show them how to grow this and grow that, and he was helping out friends and stuff. And then he decided, well, maybe he'd put on a few courses. So he did. He ran a few grow your own vegetable production courses. That we thought it would be a tourism thing, but it really wasn't. It was for the locality and the wider locality. And we get great satisfaction hearing, from people that did the courses that they continued to grow their own stuff. I have an interest in art and craft, and I invited in when we gained a little bit of experience from giving the grow your own courses. So I invited in some craft workers to give. I had a lot of contacts in a lot of friends and that are interested in art and craft too, and we ran some art and craft courses, such as stone carving, which you can see there. That lady is carving out the name of her house onto a piece of limestone. The man there putting the wine bottles in. Of course, we had to search far and wide for enough wine bottles, but he is building a pizza oven, and he showed a group how to build a pizza oven. He's using the wine bottles there as insulation underneath the fire bricks, and the pizza oven then was built on top of it. We also ran a beekeeping course. I'm going to hand over to Kevin now to talk about the community group called Knockmeal Down Active, of which he is chairperson. But I just have a special interest in one particular activity, and that is water-related activities. Water-related activities in the River Shore. The River Shore passes through our farm, as I said already, and fishing is just it's just not what it used to be. And earlier this year in June, I organised for a group. I asked a company to come and, with their canoes, a company that hire canoes, to come to Care and bring us to our farm, which was a distance of about 8 miles. And we had 20 people canoeing down the river on a lovely summer's evening. It was absolutely gorgeous, and they enjoyed pieces. They were mostly friends and friends of friends. It was on a non-profit basis because really I was just doing research to see what the demand was for something like that. Ran another one in August because there was, I had a list of people that wanted to do a trip like that. So we continued then from our farm into Clonmel, which is a 12-mile trip, and again a fantastic evening. The interesting thing is we did not see one fisherman on the 12 miles that day, that Sunday evening. We didn't see one fisherman out fishing. So there was a huge resource there. There is a huge resource there which is not being used, and this is one of the ways that we think there might be a future in using it, whether it's we will organise it and develop that business, or maybe do it through the community group. That's that's really all I have to say to you, and Kevin has a few words now.
For my sins. Just the year after exiting Darien, I was contacted by Mary O'Halloran. Mary worked with the Southeast Tourism, and she called to us on a fairly regular basis just to check out the property and whatever. And well, anyways, she rang me, she said, is there any chance you put a looped walk or two together and get back to you? I said, no problem at all, I'll have it for you today or tomorrow, because we had a looped walk or two or three lined up for our guests that we would just say, there's a nice walk for you in the Kilmaneen Downs, it's just 10 minutes away, away you go. So anyways, did that. Shortly after that, I was contacted by a guy by the name of Con Ryan, who worked with South Development Company, which is formerly Leader. Now, as I mentioned, South Prairie Development Company, I just want to acknowledge their role in assisting us in developing in the area. Like, they have been outstanding, and also South Prairie Tourism Company have given us great help. And anyway, I sat down with this Con, and he said to me, would you think of applying to South Tip Development Company to do a feasibility study on the area? I said, yeah, why not? I didn't realise, I suppose, what I was letting myself in for at the time. And anyways, an application was made. We got the funding, and a company called SLR Consultancy, they came in and they did, I suppose they probably spent about 6 months in the area asking the relevant people, the relevant questions and whatever. And a few meetings were called in the area, and as a result of that, a short time after, Kilmaneen Down Active was formed. And literally we had what we would call a blank canvas, because that particular area, the northern side of the Kilmaneen Downs, hadn't really been touched. You just had the road from Clogheen to Lismore via the V Gap going through, and other than that, I'd say there was very, very little happening there. But anyways, what came out on top of the feasibility study, that it was an ideal area for walking and cycling. Now, this is an area very, very close to my own heart, because I'm a member of the Mountaineering Club for years, and we just set about developing. But anyway, just to fast forward that, at the moment we have 4 looped walks in place. We have 5 more in the pipeline. 5 more loops. We have 1 linear walk, which is probably something similar to the Greenway in Connemara, and that's between Ballyporeen and Newcastle. What I forgot to mention is that Kilmaneen Down Active, there are 5 communities involved, 5 parishes as such: Newcastle, Ardfinnan, Clogheen, Ballyporeen, and a little place called Guttenby. And anyway, this linear walk will really gel the lot together, because it's coming right through the 5 communities. But that's, as I say, they're in the pipeline. But I suppose really what I'm here to talk about is St. Declan's Way. Some years ago, both Bear and I decided to do the Camino de San Diego walk. I think it was 2005, 2006. And it struck me. I can't say that I enjoyed walking it. I can't say that I was very, very impressed by it. I feel I didn't get that much out of it. But I said to myself at home, we have a similar walk that's there, dating back to before St. Patrick. And you know, it has a lot of history, heritage, you name it. Why don't we develop that? So that's what we set about doing. So last Patrick's weekend, 12 months, we had a walk from Ardfinnan to Lismore, Lismore to Aglish, and Lismore to Ardmore. Now the walk goes from Cashel no, Bear had a map up there, I didn't even know how to Cashel anyway into Prairie, right to Ardmore. It's 100 kilometres. But this year, Kilmaneen Down Active, in conjunction with our partners on the other side of the mountain, Kilmaneen Down V Forum, we organised a walk running from Cashel. It was a 5-day event from Cashel to Ardmore, hugely successful. Got great media coverage. When I say great media coverage, like to hit the Times on a Saturday, and we'd only put in a bucket engine because, as I say, we're only in our infancy. And we had 110 walked the walk as such. Not all in the one day. Over the 5-day period, I think 53 was the most we had. But anyways, that's at a very, very advanced stage in being waymarked. So I think that's going to be a flagship thing for us in the area. We're going to, it's something that's giving a little reward as it is. We're getting quite a bit of feedback as well as bed nights out of it. I'm conscious I just see the time up sign there. But I just think that we have been very lucky, as I say, with all the support we've got from the animators that work for South Tipperary Development Company, the National Trails Office, Mountaineering Ireland, and just finally, before I finish up, there's a proposal next year to have a National Pilgrim Paths Day, and it's to be held on Easter Saturday. And there are 11 ways selected from Danculumkillen in Donegal, St. Declan's Way, St. Finbarrs and Cork, right well placed throughout the country. The walks are to be held on, as I said, Easter Saturday. So we're it's just about to happen. So we're looking for ideas to do that and maybe to push the thing forward. Anyway, look, I think I'll leave it at that.